know, it's the weekend. Y'all know what that means. We got new metal albums dropping on us, and I'm bringing you my 5 favorite. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, JonBarbas. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode for this week's album art of the week. And before we jump into the top 5, we always break down the big bands that dropped albums this week, so let's do that. All right, let's go ahead and get our weekly That's Not Metal out of the way. Baby Metal has their new record, Metal 4. I know that one pisses a lot of the true metalheads off. And yeah, I don't own any Baby Metal records, but when I covered the Death Clock tour and Baby Metal was on that tour, I gained a whole new respect for that band. I have never, in all of the concerts I've been to, I have never seen an audience react to a band the way Atlanta did for Baby Metal. It was equal parts mosh pit and rave. Those kids were going off. I've never seen weebs have so much excitement. And as a consequence, I gained respect. I dig Baby Metal, even if you don't. And this is the one that I've been really looking forward to, Shadow of Intent with Imperium Delirium, absolute crusher. I am of the opinion that, yeah, Lone Shore is great, Starter to Prevail is fun, but in my opinion, I think Shadow of Intent should be the top of the deathcore mountain right now. And there's a new record from Heaven Shall Burn called Heimat, and I was also looking forward to this one because I love these bands that can be artsy but remain crushingly heavy throughout, and that's what we got here. And lastly, before we do the top 5, there's a new album from the legends, Sodom, with the Arsonists. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's been a dearth of good quality thrash metal this year. Sodom's got something to say about that. Now let's do the top 5. Coming in at number 5, Veneficus Sarcina with Being and Morbidity. Yeah, pretty sure I mispronounced that, so the text is on screen just in case. And as always, every band's Bandcamp link will be in the description so that these albums are easy to find. This is black metal out of Ohio. And when I say black metal, you'll often think of tremolo picking guitars and screechy vocals. Not here. This is a much riffier, much chuggier version of black metal, borderline black and roll, which I dig. Plus the album title, Being and Morbidity, is a play on Sartre, which, you know, I'm into that. One of the song titles is Solipsis, so I mean, is this for me or is this for me? Coming in at number 4, Spider Kitten. The Truth is Caustic to Love. This is some sludgy, noisy, alternative, little bit stoner doom metal out of UK. And if that sounds like a lot on the description, it's because this album is so varied. On one moment, you're gonna get some pipe clogging, filthy sludge metal. The next, some noisecore, and then you'll also get some slow, folksy, forlorn numbers, and then a little bit of alternative to boot. It's all over the place, but the entire time you're like, whoa. Coming in at number 3, Creeping Fear with Realm of the Impaled, death metal out of France. And y'all know me, I love it when it's that groovy, stank face inducing death metal. And this has groove for days. I also dig the production on this. It sits in a nice sweet spot between modern clarity and old school abrasiveness. I also really dig this vocalist, where most of the time I like more rumbly, deep growls in my death metal. And this guy definitely has a nice false chord scream, but it's got a little bit more treble in it than usual, which gives it a nice bit of bite that I'm not used to. So I just really dug this one, and you will too if you check it out. Coming in at number 2, King Witch with 3, doom metal out of the UK. Now, is King Witch not the quintessential doom metal band name? Yeah, it's awesome. And in sound, they also sound like a quintessential doom metal band. So how does a band that fits that genre so neatly stand out from the rest? With excellence. They just do it better than everybody else. The guitar work on this is tremendous. The lead guitars on this scream out of the speakers with not only technique but passion, and the singer just belting on. This is the kind of doom metal that you feel. And hey, before we do number one, I got a message for y'all. I owe y'all a big thank you for the overwhelming majority of you. You know, y'all came here for the metal and a little bit of philosophy. And every now and again, I do 2 shows a week and I've been doing this for years. So every now and again, I'm going to venture out a little bit. I'm going to say my opinions. I'm going to say my opinions honestly. 99.9% of the times we're talking about heavy metal here, occasionally some philosophers, but sometimes it's current events. And sometimes that pisses people off and they have something snarky to say. So the majority of you guys and gal who came to me in the comments and on social media with support and affirming messages, I really appreciate it. I don't make it a goal to do things outside of metal, but like I said, I do 2 episodes a week, been doing it for years. There's 270 something episodes on YouTube. So sometimes my opinion's going to come out there. I'm not going to hide it and I'm not going to lie about it. So I appreciate y'all's appreciation. Thank you so much. Now let's do number one. Coming in at number 1, this one makes me so happy. Dead Guy with near-death travel services, metallic hardcore out of New Jersey. Now let me give y'all a little bit of backstory here. Back in the late 90s, all the metallic hardcore pioneers that we're all familiar with, Earth Crisis, the Dillinger Escape Plan, well, they had influences that came before them as well, and one of those, the originator, the pioneer, was Dead Guy. They basically formed what would become mathcore, and I guess the brightest flames burn out the quickest because they only lasted for 3 years. Somebody did a documentary on them and they got back together, and now we've got a new Dead Guy album. This isn't some dads getting together after 30 years to relive their past. This is them witnessing the seeds that were planted during their day, during Bush 1 and Clinton administrations, and seeing the fruit choking the life out of the next generation. And they're pissed off about it, so they bring us hardcore. This might be one of the heaviest and most needed sophomore records of our age. Make sure you get Dead Guy. All right, longtime subscribers will know that the Dealer's Choice segment allows me to break my own rules and pick things that maybe aren't full albums like EPs, or maybe it's not metal. I just dug it this week. Well, this one's certainly metal adjacent. It's definitely heavy. Blood Vulture with Die Close. This is some alternative, maybe you could call it gothic metal a little bit. When you hear it, you will immediately think of Alice in Chains because of the vocal harmonies, but there's other stuff going on in here too. I hear a lot of that quirky melody from Soundgarden. I'm hearing a lot of hard rock in here, subtle goth stuff to give it a sort of umami flavor, but everything's tied together with heaviness. So it shows that the chef sort of had some thoughtfulness when he was putting together the courses here. I really dug this one. Plus the Die Close motif just ties everything together. So check out Die Close from Blood Vulture. Not done yet, because we still got the album art of the week. My favorite album art this week came from When the Deadbolt Breaks in the Glow of a Vatican Fire. Check that out. Now, when this came in my inbox and I was thumbing through it, I first thought it was the White House on fire until I read the album title. And then I started looking closer, and this is hand-drawn. I love this art. And also, sometimes when an album cover has the border with the text around the art, sometimes it looks sort of cheap, but sometimes when the album art fills the entire thing, it washes everything out. I couldn't tell you what my criteria are to say why I like this border and text with this art, but it pops. I dig this one. And I love that it's not your standard heavy metal album cover where they all look the same in a lineup. This one stood out, made me want to listen to it. And when I did listen to it, some sweet doom metal. It starts out with that recipe you all know of doom, groovy riffs with the ethereal female vocals, but then other stuff starts happening. Really harsh male vocals, dense compositions. It goes in a lot of different unexpected places. Definitely dug this one. Make sure you check out When the Deadbolt Breaks. Hey, you made it to the end of the episode. That means I owe you a debt of gratitude because that is the best way to support heavy metal philosophy. Watch the videos from the beginning to the end. You've done that. Thank you. The next step is if you liked any of these bands, hit the like button. That also really helps out. Did you see this week's podcast? Because I talked to a guy that followed Metallica around on tour. He saw them 12 times this year, 40-something in total. So when I heard that, I was like, hey man, how'd you do that? Why did you do that? We had an interesting conversation full of adventure. So if you want to catch that podcast, just click right here, JonBarbas-shop.fourthwall.com if you want to pick up some merch. But most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you.